So we've been thinking about our lamb range for a long time, and it's apparent that in food service we're just not selling as much of it. When you go out, do you ever see lamb on a menu anymore? Very rarely. And that's really due to cost. So we're looking at what we can do to bring in something that means a whole meat option isn't missing from the menu, and that's why we're launching our new range of mutton. So we've got a really comprehensive range of products. So from the traditional legs, shoulders, mince and diced, we've also got cannons, we've got French trim racks, long bone racks, several other products like TTS, which is top side, top rump and silver side, which can be used for roasting. So lots of different varieties here. The products are actually really high quality, so they're highest quality mutton that you can get in the marketplace today. We've worked really closely with the supplier. It's all British Red Tractor. My favourite is the cannons. They're absolutely superb. They're really lean. They're beautiful to present on a plate. Sliced through, cooked medium rare, they're superb. The difference between lamb and mutton is that it's really based on teeth. So lamb don't have ear tags and passports like cattle have. So lamb is graded on their teeth. So it's when they get their first permanent incisors, they then move into hogget, and that kind of stays for about 6 months, and then mutton is after that. So it's all based on teeth, which seems really bizarre, but that's how it's graded. So looking at price, obviously this is key, and at the moment it's probably about 20% difference in the market at the moment between the cost of lamb and mutton, which makes it so much more affordable. So that's all from me. We're just now going to hand over to Ollie. He's going to cook some amazing dishes using this range.
First up with this exciting new mutton range, we're going to cook a Parmesan crusted mutton roll, which will work as a bar snack or a starter. So first of all, we're going to take these beautiful cannons of mutton, which have obviously had the silver skin removed and the fat removed, and I'm just going to cut these into 3 little strips. And then just gently round off if they need it, but I don't want to round too much off, otherwise it's just a waste really. So we're going to tightly roll these little mutton rolls.
So chef, what's the purpose of rolling them?
Well, I just want a nice sort of sushi-like cylindrical form to them when I pane them, because the idea is I'm going to cut them into sort of little bite-sized pieces. Once they've had a nice chill, overnight if possible, or a couple of hours, just to create the form, I'm going to get a simple pane mix, so flour, egg and breadcrumbs. So with the breadcrumbs I'm going to do 50-50 or just under 50-50, weighing more on the bread side of things with breadcrumbs and Parmesan. And then as a little labour save, I'm going to use liquid whole egg. Which comes in this handy sort of Tetra Pak.
So again, you could pane these in advance, chill them down and then cook them to order?
That's it, yeah, that's ideally what you would do. Roll in the egg. I'm going to do a double pane on this, so I'm going to double dip it straight back in just to give that thick crust.
So this is all about texture, it's giving the meat some texture.
Definitely, yeah, a little bit of crunch on the outside. I think the Parmesan gives it a little unexpected hit of saltiness as well. So we've got these delicious flame roasted red peppers. Really smell the nice smoke on them. So I'm going to drop them in, seeds and all. Just a couple of tablespoons of sugar to that, just to take a little bit of that bitterness away. And then once I've worked out how to get this going, once that's had a nice blend, just gonna pour it in and we'll just let that warm up slightly on the stove. Right, so we're just going to drop the meat in here. Look at that. So we'll give that a little bit of a rest and then we'll nip the ends off, which is obviously the chef's treat. And then we'll just cut these into little bite-sized portions. Look at that, nice little Nice little blush on the mutton. Drizzle that sort of dipping sauce all over the plate. Dot these nice little sort of sushi sized bites. Mutton bites, and just a little garnish of spring onion curled up in ice water. A little bit of coriander. I think I've got some mint in here as well, little mint leaves. And some crispy onions. And that is our Parmesan crusted mutton cannons with a little red pepper dipping sauce. So next up we've got these mutton shoulder, diced mutton shoulder. I'm going to do an open kebab with the mutton shoulder with some pickled vegetables and garlic sauce, chili sauce. So let's get cracking on it. So we've got this delicious diced mutton, which comes in really handy. Coat that all up, and then we're going to drop it into the frying pan, sear it off, and I'm going to braise it in a rich and rustic tomato sauce with a little bit of rosemary. You can see that spice coming out now all in around the mutton there, and the mutton's all crispy, so I'm going to drop in the rosemary and this rich and rustic sauce to begin the braise. And then we're going to bring that up to the boil, and then we're going to drop it into the oven about 160, and again for probably about 2 hours. So we're going to serve this open kebab on these really authentic 12-inch Kobe's breads. I'm just going to lightly grill it, and as you can see they're super pliable, malleable, so hopefully the whole kebab won't go down my chest. So that's our mutton shoulder braise that's done now. So we'll let that cool slightly, but we'll build the kebab alongside it. So I'm going to serve this with a little bit of chopped vegetable mix. This is actually an Asian slaw mix, so it's got some carrots, some cabbage, some onion in that. So I'm going to drop that into our kebab, and I'm going to put the sauce over the top of that. But again, it's a real nice labour saver, real nice and colourful. Also got these delicious pickled fennels, which is just sliced fennel pickled in a real nice pickling liquor. Adds a little bit of vinegar to the kebab and cuts through.
And where's the pickled fennel? Is that Fresh Kitchen?
Fresh Kitchen, yeah. So they've got some really nice products there. You know, anything ranging from pickled pineapples, pickled watermelon, sweet and sour onions. This fennel. Yeah, I could go on and on and on, but I chose to do it with the fennel today. And I've also got some pico de gallo salsa as well, which I'm going to dribble on top of it. So that is, again, super efficient, labour saving, high quality product. It's tomato, onion, a little bit of chilli, and coriander through that. Drop some of this mutton shoulder over the top of this. Ooh. Chili sauce to go on this. I like a kebab spicy, and this one indicates that it is very hot chili sauce. So we might be a bit careful on this. Some of the people waiting in the wings might not like it that spicy. So I'm going to dribble that all over that. A little bit of garlic mayonnaise over the top. Pico de gallo salsa.
Do you know what that means in Spanish?
Go on, I'm sure you're going to tell me, chef.
I think it means hen's beaks or something like that.
Christ.
Don't ask me why I know this.
Hen's beaks.
Or rooster's beaks.
There you go. Now I'm just going to drop a little bit of coriander over the top of this. Rustic, torn off, And that there is our open mutton lamb shoulder kebab.
I challenge anybody to eat that without making their top messy.
So
Yeah.
if we're going to wrap it, these Kobe's breads are really efficient.
Yeah.
They don't all clam up. I'm going to serve this on a different plate now that we've rolled it. I'm going to serve this with a bit more garlic mayo on the side here. And a little spoon of that as a little garnish. And that is our mutton shoulder open kebab that we've rolled. So next up in this exciting mutton series is the mutton neck. So obviously the neck gives a really nice menu presence. So we're going to do a mutton neck rogan josh with some little Indian snacks with it. So I'm going to dice the neck up, which is beautiful, into nice big chunks.
So this is a classic cut to use for curries, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Low and slow. All that meat and the fat and the sinews are going to cook down, and it's going to make that meat super nice and gelatinous, which is perfect for something like a curry. We're going to drop that mutton neck into some flour and give it a good season, and then we're going to take it to a pan and crisp it off, ready to start the braise. So the sauce I'm going to use today is, as mentioned, the Rogan Josh sauce. So I'm using a Cisco Classic Rogan Josh sauce, which is already done. It's got all the nice bits of diced onion in it, all ready to go. So super convenient, labour-saving product to use on top of this mutton Rogan Josh. So we're going to give the mutton a real good sear, and then I'm going to drop that Rogan Josh sauce over the top, along with some char grilled peppers. I want to do these quite big and chunky, just moving out those little chunks there to drop into the curry, just to give it that extra bit of texture and interest. So we've got our mutton neck chunks in there. I'm going to put in our charred peppers. And then I'm going to go over the top with the Cisco Classic Rogan Josh sauce. And then we'll drop that, once it comes up to the boil, we'll drop that into the oven at 160 for about 2 hours. So to go alongside this mutton Rogan Josh, I'm going to do some little Indian snacks. So I'm just going to throw these into the oven, crisp up. Little selection here, including samosas and bhajis. So I'll get them in the oven, crisping up. And then we're going to do the pilau rice to go with it, which is these really handy individual packets that are frozen, just thaw and microwave. Again, labour-saving, consistency, super easy and quick to use. So they're just sort of 45 seconds in the microwave, depending on the power.
So the Indian snacks that you're serving alongside it, is that almost kind of a sub for like a naan bread or something like that, which traditionally you might serve with a curry?
Yeah, just something a little bit different. Obviously, can upsell with sides and things, but I think it's nice to have these snacks coming on top with the dish. That's the mutton Rogan Josh curry. So I'm just going to finish that with a little bit of creme fraiche, just to help with some of those spices and also make the sauce a little bit more velvety and creamy. Colour change with the creme fraiche in the Rogan Josh. That's the pilau rice. As I said, simple single serve portions, labour save, and I'm just going to decant straight into the dish and away, no messing around. I'm going to serve the Rogan Josh, some of that delicious lamb neck onto there.
I think you mean mutton, chef.
Oh Christ, it was going to happen, wasn't it, chef? And that's the thing, it's so difficult to tell the difference really, ultimately. with these two products, the lamb and the mutton. But yeah, as I've been corrected, that mutton rogan josh over the top, over there. We serve those little snacks alongside it. A nice bit of coriander in there. And then, just for good measure, a little dollop of that. And that is our mutton rogan josh curry with pilau rice and Indian snacks. Cool. Lovely, if I do say so myself. Want a nice little cold Cobra beer with that. Very nice. Next up on our exciting mutton journey is the mutton long bone rack, which comes whole like that, so really versatile. You can cook it whole, break it down, individual cutlets, single mini racks. What I've done here is I've broken it down into little cutlets, and I've kept the bone with the meat on, because for this next dish that we're doing, it's going to really elevate it and help all that fat mixed in with the yogurt. So the dish I'm doing is grilled mutton cutlets with yogurt, padron peppers, chili oil, a little bit of crispy garlic, crispy onion, and some pickled onion. So on these mutton cutlets, I'm going to drop on some ras al hanout, which is a North African, Middle Eastern spice. It's got paprika, sugar, cumin, a whole host of spices, and also got some rose petals in. But it's very flavoursome, really, really fragrant. So I'm going to dribble that onto the cutlets quite liberally. Put it on dry, and then I'm going to oil them and whack them on the grill. But they are mutton cutlets, ready to go. So we've got these delicious padron peppers that I'm going to serve with this dish. I'm going to put them onto the griddle pan and season them with some olive oil, quite generously, obviously salt, pepper. Just toss them through, give them a good toss. Then we'll throw them on the grill with the mutton. So I'll just gently cover them with a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm going to try and get them on that fat side down first on the bone to help render that down before we cook the flesh. Hopefully they'll stand up to attention. There we go. And we'll throw the padrons on top. I'm going to do some crispy garlic and crispy onions inside the chili oil to drizzle over the top of this dish. I've gone for the peeled garlic. These are super easy, they're all done. The only time you're going to get your hands smelly is when you chop them. So really, really rough chunks. Very random. Some will be slightly whole, some will be chopped, but that's the extent of the chopping that I want to do for this dish. So we're going to use this chili oil here, already done, don't need to mess around infusing the oil. It's super pungent, super fragrant. So I'm going to be quite generous on the oil with this. Just bring that up to a sort of medium warmth. Otherwise I'm going to just burn all the garlic, but we shall see. So drop that in. And then I'll just slowly let them crisp up. Once we feel like we've got a good heat and it's starting to soften, I'm going to throw some sugar in, just so it's got something to stick to and caramelise to. And that's about ready to go hit it with the sugar. So there we go, that's what we're after. Slightly crisping, not too much, otherwise it's going to just taste bitter. And then I'm going to throw the crispy onions that are already crisp. They're obviously going to go limp, but it's going to help get that texture that we're after. That's that. And I'll hit it with a touch more oil to help bring it together. And that's that done. I'm going to serve this with this really, really thick Greek style yogurt. Now this is probably a bit more of a sharer dish for a table of, I don't know, 4 to share between a glass of wine or something, or tapasy. So
where's the inspiration from this dish come from?
I actually went to Paris with some friends, and it wasn't obviously a French restaurant, but we went to this really cool place. It was a bit of a lively restaurant, and we had a dish similar to this. So I thought, yeah, really nice, really tasty. And when the mutton brief came up, I thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. So that's the yogurt on these padron peppers.
Again, with the padron peppers, there's an element of jeopardy with those, isn't there?
It's a what? Oh.
Because whilst they are mild, you will get a hot one in there.
It's a bit like Russian roulette, isn't it?
Correct.
So that's our crispy onions and semi-crispy garlic in amongst that garlic oil, chili oil, sorry. I'm going to get that right over the top of all the lamb. And that's the chili oil here.
I hate to say it, but you did say lamb, chef.
Ah, do you know, when we go back through the bloopers on this, the amount of times I've said lamb for these mutton dishes is unreal. The products are very similar, obviously, so I can only, I'm only human,
Well,
chef. I'm only
that's
human.
a mark of quality then. If the chef thinks it's lamb, then it's good.
So, really nice, colourful dish. Very nice for sharing. Super rustic. And that is our ras al hanout mutton, yogurt, grilled padron peppers, and garlic chili oil.
And which product again was this that you used?
This is the mutton long bone rack.
Brilliant. That's superb.
Let's give this little mutton lollipop a go, shall we? I'm double dipping because I'm eating this for myself. Lovely.
So chef, what was your experience of using the mutton range, cooking with it, clearly eating it?
Yeah, really positive, really enjoyed doing that. I think if you watch the bloopers, you'd see how many times I said lamb. So it's a testament to the product that it is ultimately very, very similar. Just the application of how you position it on a menu, lean into that sort of Middle Eastern vibe. But no, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying eating it.